Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. Just finished the second week of February on the 10th. Super Bowl weekend coming up. And it was a pretty soft-ish week for markets. Kind of started a little bit flattish down, then tried to bounce Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday kind of just petered out and closed not on the weekly lows, but on the lower end of the weekly range. So, as for the performance on our indices for the week, we had the Dow was flat, S&P down 1%, Q's down 2%, and IWM down 3.4%. So small caps underperformer by kind of a decent margin. Oil was up 8% for the week. Pretty good week for them. Bonds also sagged down 3%. So not a good week for the bond market. It's kind of making it tough for equities to hang in. As soon as sort of the prospect of rates, especially on the long end, moving up, the stocks just don't like it. So, it was soft overall. We can dig into some of the particulars in a bit. Oh, whoops, this is the wrong one. For the leadership stocks, it was kind of some moves being made this week. So Tesla up 3.5%, kind of bucked the trend. Microsoft and Nvidia also closed positive, kind of against the trend of the NASDAQ. The rest were mostly in line. Apple down 2%, Netflix down 5% is slightly more. Meta down 6.6% for the week, but Meta had that monster week, when they had reported earnings and all this stuff. And Google down almost 10% for the week. There are stories out there circulating about Google, especially search, being in a bit of trouble in its current state with sort of the advent of this open API and ChatGPT getting incorporated into other search engines and things like that. So maybe this will be a story going forward, sort of how Google catches up with AI and all of this stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure Google has some projects in the works. It'd be kind of hard to believe for them to get caught completely flat-footed, but for right now, it's sort of the story. Nobody knows how Google's going to respond. So bad week for Google. The rest, some up, most of them slightly worse than NASDAQ, except for Apple, that was kind of in line. As far as industries go, I did say the week prior to look for the market to sort of thin out a little bit after such a big run, and looks like that kind of manifested some this week. I mean, we've got negative breadth across the board. We've got almost nothing up 5%, so it wasn't even like there was rotation type action going on. It was mostly like everything dipped together. Only leaders this week, we've got some oil and gas stuff. I mean, like I said, the crude was up 8% for the week, so pretty good for them. And then on the downside, we've got a bunch. There's 25, 6, 7, 37 sectors down 5%. So not horrible, given that the market's been so strong this week. I mean, that's not really a lot of give back. But the majority were down something, right? So like if we look up here, we've only got a handful of sectors that are even green for the week. Now, We can look at breadth from a market cap standpoint and just filter 1 to 5 billion, down 3.6%, kind of identical to IWM. 5 to 10 billion, down 2.5%. 10 to 50 billion, these were down 1.4. 50 to 100 billion, down 44 bips. And 100 billion plus, down 39 bips. So actually, on the large end of the cap spectrum, market held up pretty well. Down 39 basis points on 100 billion plus, down 44 basis points on 50 billion plus. I mean, that's really not a convincing sort of pullback. Uh, Given the year to date trend. So, I mean, at first glance, this is looking kind of buyable. This dip is looking pretty buyable. On intelligence for this coming week, do we have? Okay, we got bullish utilities, bullish biotech, bullish banks, short crude oil, short the S&P, short the Nasdaq. Okay, short emerging markets, bearish treasuries, and materials bullish, gold miners bullish. Okay, pretty interesting um, from intelligence. Downside, we've got K-Web and Russell bearish. Okay, so a little bit of not a lot of stuff rated bearish this week, but on the bullish side, it looked pretty good. As far as Stocklabs kind of wanting to see which one was it again. Where did my screen go? Okay, here it is. So let's look at this again. Utilities and biotech bullish, banks bullish, but S&P and Nasdaq rated bearish. So okay, maybe could be more churn type. Some choppy churn type action this week. We do have. We came off this overbought thing. I had pointed this out before. We're really really overbought, or not really overbought, but it was like continuously overbought for like a long period of time. So we've come off of that and worked off that overbought sort of status. Um, you look at intelligence on the overall market, it's not great. I mean, it's kind of leans bearish, but um, I'm thinking that if we look at this on more than just 1 week time frame, it's kind of the first dip of the year. I think people are going to be very tempted to buy this right here, starting Monday. So wouldn't be surprised if there's just no follow through from kind of the week action that we ended the week with, and there should be some attempt for like a big, not big, but should be some attempt for an up move at least to start the week. Now, whether that encounters sellers again, we'll see. But I think probably early in the week, you're pretty safe to buy this dip and then manage it from there. So, given that that's sort of what we're looking for coming in, sort of soft week this week, and then see where the buyers were going to step in, if they were going to step in. I don't think we're just breaking down completely here, especially since the breadth on the larger stuff was pretty solid overall for the market. You had Google that was down big, kind of an outlier, but overall, I mean, it looks like people are still buying stocks. I mean, with whatever the headline indices are doing. And the breadth was weak, but it wasn't weak enough to sort of flip the regime that we've been in, where the breadth has been pretty solid. It's just this is kind of like what you would call like pretty standard dip, just to consolidate a little bit, do some back testing, and then try to make an up move from there. So that's what I'd be looking for this week. Um, Monday, Tuesday, you know, let's buy some stocks and let's pump them the whole week if we can. All right. That's all from me. Hope you guys have a good Super Bowl Sunday, whoever you're cheering for, preferably the Eagles. And yeah, be back next week to recap how we're doing and keep it moving forward. Okay. Bye.